Before I get started with the story, let me give a shout out to Taurean for sending the story to me in Discord. And this is coming out of Birmingham, Alabama. And this story is so crazy that the BBC even had to report on it. You know, they operate out of Britain, you know, the British Broadcasting Company. So I had to make sure that, well, I said, hold on, is the story coming from over there or is it here? But it is indeed from here. So in this picture, you see a man by the name of Jamar Bailey, and he basically tried to poison a baby he tried to kill a baby with a poisoned milk bottle. This guy literally premeditated this because he actually went online to look up materials for poisoning a child and almost did it. So let's get into this. A man who tried to kill a newborn baby by giving her prescription drugs in a milk bottle has been jailed. Jamar Bailey, aged 21, searched online for how to poison a baby and how to kill a newborn. The 3-week-old girl was taken to a hospital in June 2020 after becoming lifeless. I don't know who typed that, and unresponsive. Bailey from Birmingham pled guilty to attempted murder and was jailed for 25.5 years at the city's Crown Court. A urine test detected sodium valproate in the infant, a drug used to treat epilepsy and bipolar disorder that can be fatal to newborns. Hospital staff notified police officers as they said the drug could not have been taken accidentally. Police found Bailey of Augustine Grove, Winson Green, was taking medication for seizures, and a search discovered a prescription drug containing sodium valproate in his name. Toxicology tests found evidence of the drug in the baby's milk bottle. West Midlands police said she survived and was thriving. However, it would not be known until she was older whether she suffered any lasting effects. Bailey had previously pled guilty to attempted murder and a charge of possession with intent to supply a controlled drug of Class B. Detective Sergeant Kirsty Wilson said officers were pleased the little girl was doing well as she is lucky to be alive. She added Bailey's actions were premeditated and could quite easily have resulted in her death. He's very lucky that he only got 25 years behind bars instead of life. Now, I think the reason why they didn't get him life is because the baby did not die. Had the baby died, life would have been definitely what he would have received. Truthfully, honestly, I would have gave him it even though the child is still breathing. Because like they said, they don't know what the lasting effects of what he gave this child is going to have or take a toll on this child when she gets older. Because they can't determine it right now because she's still a newborn, and that's scary. So that means she could be living a rather normal life and everything like that. And one day something just seems off and she's going to wonder why she feels that way and what's going on. And they're going to trace it back to what this guy did. Now, it doesn't say whether this man right here is the father or not. They never mention if he is the father of this child or not. So I can't tell if he is or if he isn't. But something tells me he just might be because the child is a newborn. And something tells me in order for him to do something like this, he must have not wanted the child. That's for me what it all boiled down to is whoever he was messing with had a child he did not want. And this is what he ultimately decided to try to do in order to get rid of the child without it looking too obvious that him trying to take out the child while she's in the womb. So he figured if I can do it where it can be untraceable, then they can say that the child just died maybe of some side effects from the birth that they didn't detect early on. And she just died because, you know, newborns can die like that almost every day. But when he used that and they went to the hospital and they said that there's no way that that this child could have taken this even as an accident because it had to be something administered, then that's when they figured it out. And then of course they looked through his searches and saw that he typed in how to poison a child and how to kill a newborn. Yeah, that had premeditated written all over it. So this guy was trying his best to take this child out. Fortunately for her, he was unsuccessful. Unfortunately for her is that she could possibly down the line face some side effects from this. Hopefully she doesn't, but it's still a chance that she might, and it will be all of his fault. So, you know, he's going to have to spend the next 25 years of his life thinking about what he did. if he manages to live all 25 of them years, because in jail they have it's a code in there where you don't hurt women and you don't hurt kids. And this was a newborn. They said she's only 3 weeks. She's fresh out the womb. So like I said, my assumption, because they didn't specify who he was to the child, but I'm assuming that he's the father and he didn't want this child. That's the only thing I can gather from this, unless there's something else that the article did not specify. My assumption is he's the dad and he didn't want this child, and he tried to get rid of it in a way that he had hoped would not be traceable. Unfortunately for him, and fortunately for her, that it didn't work out that way. But y'all let me know what y'all think down in the comments.